Welcome, folks, to Rambam. We are still learning the laws of the gifts that are given, Bikurim, um, to the Kohen, to the priest, as they don't have land as their inheritance. So they're given different gifts. Okay, we are now in chapter 9, Halacha 1. There's a positive commandment for anyone other than a Kohen and a Levi who slaughters a kosher domesticated animal to give the priest, the Kohen, the foreleg, the jaw, and the maw. Maw is like the stomach, right? This is a judgment due to the Kohanim, that are universally known as Kohanim. The mitzvah is practiced at all times, whether the temple was standing or not, whether in Eretz Yisrael and diaspora, with regard to ordinary animals, but not consecrated ones. That's interesting. Because we don't do this today. You know, this matters a debate in the commentaries and Torah and Shulchan Aruch, quote the Rambam's view, but also mentioned Rashi and there been a in the mitzvah is not practiced. That's not practiced in the diaspora. So we don't go according to the Rambam with this, as I mentioned. We don't do that. Because that would mean the butcher would have to give to the kohen, right? No. Number 2, there's an obligation to separate the above-mentioned presents from all consecrated animals that have had a permanent blemish. So that was not consecrated animals. Consecrated means it's used for the holy temple, right? Well, that for sure you can't do today because we don't have a holy temple. Um, but it's also an obligation on consecrated animals that have a permanent blemish before they are consecrated and were redeemed. Right? Since they're permanently blemished at the time of their consecration, it's obvious that they will ultimately be redeemed and used for ordinary purposes, not for sacrifice. They can't use it, right? Hence, it is never considered that the actual bodies became consecrated. Once they are redeemed, they are like ordinary property. Hence, the obligation to separate the presence falls upon them. Aha. If your cow is got a blemish to it and you consecrate it, the body of the cow was not consecrated. The value of the cow is, and therefore you have to redeem it for its value. Which means now that animal is not got no holiness to it. Never had holiness really fall on the body of it, only on the value of it. And hence, now that you've redeemed it, it now falls on the category of something that you do have to separate these above mentioned gifts for the Kohen. Again, remember, this is Rambam's view, which is not the view of halacha. Just to put in this context, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, Rambam is one of what we call Rishonim. Rishonim means those who came after the Talmud was finished, and whatever's in the Talmud is a final opinion, if there is a final opinion there, not necessarily, is accepted as law. Afterwards, you have a time period from 500 to 1,000, the year 500 to 1,000, Ga'inim, from 1,000 to in the 1500s. 1500s is what we call Rishonim. Those were like the the next area or of commentators. Rambam is one of the Rishonim. Rashi is also. So is the so is the Rif and the Rosh, the names that you probably don't know. But the Code of Jewish Law is also by Yosef Cairo, who lived in the 1500s in Tzfas. So some of the commentators on his teachings are the final of the what we call Rishonim. And then you have after that, the later day teachers, which up to this very day, called Achrayim. So in any case, I just mentioned that because it's important that, well, we're learning Rambam. What do you mean we don't follow his opinion? Because of the Rishonim, he is an opinion, a very important opinion, but not the only opinion. And therefore, the Code of Jewish Law that brings all of the opinions together and then deciding is deciding not necessarily with the Rambam. Hello. We'll be finished shortly. Okay. Right now you can have some background music. Is okay. Great. Okay. Maybe another class over here by my dear wife. That if you want to participate in it, ladies, you're gonna have to come here. All right, so if it was consecrated with the blemish, right, permanent blemish, then it can be redeemed. If by contrast, they had a temporary blemish, meaning it's something that will heal before the consecration, or they were consecrated and then they were and when they were unblemished, but afterwards they became blemished and they were redeemed, they are exempt from being a gift, exempt from giving a gift. In such a situation, the consecration of the animal encompasses the entire body. Because when they were consecrated, they were able to be consecrated, and therefore they can. By the way, the coffee is fresh coffee. Okay. Okay. I'm saying you can offer that instead of the hot water if people want it. It's better coffee than what you call it. Right. So the body of it became consecrated because it wasn't blemished, or it was a blemish that was going to be healed, and therefore that remains even after you redeem it, or see, it continues to have an effect on the animal after it's been redeemed, and therefore it's exempt from other obligations, which is, in our instance, the obligation to give the foreleg, the jaw, and the maw, right? Okay. We're going to stop over here because my wife is shortly going to give a class. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, so short
Thank
today.
you, Rabbi.
All right.
Have a
God
great
bless.
day.
We're
Bye,
4 o'clock.
everyone.
Bye.